It is DJ Bonics, and yes, it's an important time. We all know, if you haven't heard, the election's happening this year. And for everyone, it's important to express themselves. And I'm reaching out to people in our community who may have something to say about it that I might not touch upon and are part of our community. And on the phone right now, I have Artika Tyner from Planting People Growing Justice. That is your organization, and your mission is to seek to plant seeds of social change through education, training, and community outreach. And you are based in St. Paul. Artika, welcome to Go Radio.
Thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome. Happy to be here.
Oh, it's great. You know, just checking out your website and finding out a little bit more about the business does is pretty amazing stuff, but I think you'd be able to explain it better. Could you tell people out there what you guys do if they've never heard of Planting People Growing Justice?
We're in the business of inspiring leaders, ordinary people. We know that if we look at history, ordinary people have had extraordinary impact in their communities. So we're looking at the basis of from children all the way up to adulthood. How can we help to cultivate, celebrate, and inspire people to lead change in their community, whether it's related to helping to support literacy, education, criminal justice reform, giving people the tools to create meaningful change.
Now, I do see literacy is like a big part of what you guys do here. What can people, like everyday people, do to, maybe promote that or to become more aware of that in their community?
I think first, reading to young people. Starting at home, starting in the community. We look at research and it says that we should be reading at least 5 times a day to our babies even. So I think making reading a part of our lifestyle and what we're doing. And if you don't have the time, if you don't have the resources, making sure right now there's a lot of virtual reading. So we have free readings available on our YouTube channel, getting out to, I know it's difficult to get to the libraries, but looking for those opportunities to connect young people with books, because our pledge and what we're committed to is ensuring that young people read at least 1,000 books before they make it to kindergarten, and continuing to work throughout the longevity, throughout their full learning experience, to make reading fun and also representative. We want to make sure that the books that we're reading reflect the beauty of our cultures coming together and the beauty of America. So making sure that young people can look in the books and see a mirror of themselves as well is important for us.
Amazing, amazing. Now, we all know what's going on this year. The election is happening, and it's a very important time to vote. A lot of young people listening out there, maybe a lot of people out there who never thought that voting was something that was important to them. What's your take on it? I'm sure you have something that you can say to others out there to, want them and to feel passionate about their vote.
Well, if we look at just history, I'm a civil rights attorney, and my work has always looked at the importance of voting. And when I think about voting as it relates to civil rights and communities of color, there have been so many challenges to keep us from the ballot box. We know it must be powerful. That means to me that voting is really how we use our voice in a democracy. And I know one of our community leaders always talks about got voice, got power. It's now. Mark your calendars, tell a friend, put in your reminders on your phone. November 3rd is an opportunity for you to use your voice in a meaningful way, for not just for yourself, for your community and your family.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Very important to get out there and use that power to vote. Now, you also are very concerned about people making sure that they get involved with the census. Can you talk about that a little bit as well?
Yes, the census is essential. Now, admittedly, I wasn't too aware of or interested in the census until I paused and started to think about it for a moment. I was filling out the census for my household, and I just thought hypothetically, imagine, if we look at criminal justice system, everything that's happening with mass incarceration. Imagine if one of my relatives, let's say my brother was in St. Cloud or my sister was in Shakopee, getting a sense of that they were in corrections. Who do they count for? Where are they? Although we know when they come back home, they're returning directly to our household and our community here in Rondo. They're accounted for in those places, in St. Cloud and Shakopee. And I started to think, what does that mean? What does the census really do? And why is it important of who's counted and where they're at? The census is for everyone. So I have to say this. We want everyone to be counted. Doesn't matter your citizenship. Doesn't matter how old someone is. We're counting the babies all the way to our community elders. And we know that the census takes place every 10 years. So that's why it's important now before September 30th to make sure your household is counted. And you might be thinking, well, what does this have to do with me, Dr. Tyner? It has a whole lot to do with you because over $665 billion is allocated, meaning spent in our communities across the nation based upon folks being counted. If you want to see better schools, if you want to see better healthcare, hospitals, you want to see more resources for roads, for mental health, whatever it is that you're passionate about, know that this is also directly related to the census. We need for everyone to be counted to make sure we get the resources we need for each community based upon the numbers of people who are there.
Amazing. I hear your passion and I got goosebumps because, this is a very, very important time, whether it has to do with the election or just being a part of our community is very, very important. I saw this quote from one of your board members about you. And it says, we have people who just talk the talk and don't really show the way, but you are concerned about the issues and you also go a step further to see what we can do. And I really just appreciate you. Where can people find you one more time and more about your business?
Yes, they can find us online on Facebook, on Instagram for Planting People Growing Justice. You can also find me with my name, artikatyner.com. Dr.
Artika Tyner, thank you for spending time with us. And just one last, a young person, he's 18 years old. He's like, this election, it doesn't affect me at all and every day. What would you tell them right now?
I would say to that young person who thinks that it doesn't affect them, as we watched and we celebrated the life of Congressman John Lewis, we know that he challenged each of us, and I had a chance to meet him and got to challenge myself for us to get in good trouble. And we know a part of that good trouble that he was in making sure that voting was accessible for everyone. So if you're not doing this for yourself, do it for the legacy for those who lost their lives, those who were in the struggle to make sure we all could have access to voting. And also I tell that young person beyond voting, we need you, especially right now. We have in the state of Minnesota, we need at least 30,000 election judges. So to my young people, as early as 16 years old, you can become an election judge trainee, a paid position for my youth to get involved because we know usually the election judges are our elders. Many of them have pre-existing health issues and they're concerned about going out into the community. But we know that we have 3,000 polling places and we need 30,000 election judges. So here's my plea to my young people. Here's another way that you can get involved. I want you to make sure that you're also considering applying to become an election judge. That's another way for you to serve in your community and make sure our polling places can remain open. And if you're not sure of who to vote for, I'm not here to tell you about that. I'm telling you to vote. But you sure can go to the League of Women Voters website to learn more about the candidates. If you need more information, go to Minnesota Votes. It will take you directly to minnesotavotes.org. We'll let you know how to get your ballot. And also, to my young friends, you don't even have to wait until November 3rd. Early voting has already started. Go into your election polling and election office, and you can vote right now.
Wow, I don't think there's anything else that needs to be said. Doctor, thank you so much for spending time with us here at Go Radio, and keep doing that good work, and we hope to link up with you soon, okay?